on YouTube? It's James with ChiHammer Fantasy Battle Report's got another battle report for you today. It's the U.S. Masters 2018 round number 5. Guys, if you watch my games in U.S. Masters, I've been getting my ass kicked. The only game I actually won was my last game against Euron Swaja, but because I won, it was kind of a shitty victory, to be honest. It was a bittersweet victory, I guess, because I won. Yay, I won! Hey, but it was under the fact that he didn't understand the rules entirely, and the TO kind of agreed with him, and then I had to prove them both wrong, and I got the victory based on that. So it's just it didn't sit well with me. So I'm going into round 5. And it's against this man right here, Mr. Joe Finlayson. Now, Joe Finlayson is a Team USA player. He was in Croatia last year, and he's going to Serbia this year. He played Undying Dynasties last year, and he's going to go ahead and be playing Undying Dynasties in this game. Let's go over to our magic real quick. Now, I can't even make this out because my camera was really fucking blurry, but this is his spells: Divination, Invocation, stuff like that. And he got the big spells, of course, the Unerring Strike, the Fate's Judgment, the freaking Ancestral Aid, whatever. As for me, my Pyromancy spells, I pretty much got all the spells besides one, which was probably Cascading Fire. If it was probably most likely a Cascading Fire. And let's go over his army real quick. As you can see on that Chariot Bunker on the left, he has a character on the right side there. And then he has a unit, a Shopti. Now these Shopti all have bows. They all have the Shopti bows, which are like strength 5 shots. Over on the left, he has a unit of like those wolf-looking guys. Those are more Shopti. And in the back, he has a bunker of skeletons. That's where his 2 wizards are. He has these winged reapers here. And then he has a couple units of light cav. And now you guys should know my list by now. Now I don't remember. I think I take turn 1. It's gonna be my turn. Orcs and Goblins turn 1. Orcs and Goblins turn 1. Now I don't play my chaff up front. I kind of keep my chaff in the back lines. You don't see them in this picture. I think they're on the left side. No. They're far up on the right side. I take that back. They vanguarded up and they ran way up there. And my goal here was to. I'm just gonna give you an idea of what I was thinking. His army is all in these 3 bricks, the freaking Shopti and the chariots, right? Now the chariots are a big issue, but my dogs could potentially chaff them if I get close enough to get them to a point where I could do charges, counter charges, all that stuff. I am trying to flank the shit out of him. With my 2 spiders. So he dropped everything, or he got close to dropping everything. I think it was counter thrust. I don't really remember. But my whole goal here was to have my 2 spiders run up the flank as fast as possible and get into the flank of if they both get into the Shopti or if they both get into the chariots, it's basically game over, right? So that's kind of what I was going for, but I'm trying to stay out of shot range, especially my blue spider. My blue spider is more valuable to me than the A-Rock, so I'm trying to keep that. And then my goal here was to leave my chicken rock close enough to my Goblins to do a flaming sword bubble to start shooting and weaken up his Shopti on the right side, while all his units are staring down my 2 blocks on the left side, my Iron Orcs and my Savage Orcs. My K-Pack is there to keep his chariots honest, because his chaff is way in the back right now. And I know this is a really blurry picture to take any of that in. And my general's just trying to keep a leadership range on the people who matter. Magic, I got 3 on the flux. Go ahead and I don't have pictures of it, but I do go ahead and I do the flaming swords. I go ahead and I shoot into the Shopti. I ended up killing off 1.5 Shopti with the flaming swords shots. And that's basically, it's going to start off his turn 1. Turn 1 on Undying Dynasties. As you can see, he was afraid to move up. He goes ahead and he turns the Shopti on the right side to face the spiders, which I'm not too worried about at the moment. I'm figuring if I still get into him, I'll get into the flank of his chariots, but his chariots don't get to move because A, there's ruins in the way, B, my K-Pack can still hit him if they get any closer, and he's not necessarily in the best spot to with his chaff, so I'm able to just kind of keep that threat available. He is kind of max range though. And as you can see on this side, his chaff is coming to shoot my chaff, which I think he's just planning on shooting the chaff entirely, to be honest. Magic, he got a 1 on the flux, I think it is. And then I really don't have pictures of what happens here. He goes ahead, he does know the enemy to restore the wounds on his Shopti. He goes ahead and he does scrying, which basically makes it harder to hit, and that becomes an issue. And goes into shooting. He goes in and shoots my dogs, kills the damn dogs. Exactly what I thought. The chariots are going to shoot into my K-Pack. They do 3 wounds, and that's about it. It's going to start off my Orcs and Goblins turn 2. Orcs and Goblins turn 2. In this big picture here, you're going to see I'm working on that flank. Now, my Iron Orcs are in a bad position because they're in the forest, and if they get hit with those the big unit, they're going to basically break and run. The Tomb Reapers. So that's a issue, but I'm kind of just trying to stay max range. And same thing with the Savages, same thing with the K-Pack. K-Pack's still trying to just keep everything chaffed. And I'm working on that flank. I'm working on just getting both spiders up there. The chariots are such a big brick that they have an issue of turning around, being, I'm trying to threaten him with multiple flanks. If he doesn't pay attention, the K-Pack could hit the freaking chariots if he faces the spiders. My general could probably potentially hit the chariots, and if not, the spiders are going in for it, right? Magic, I got a 2 in the flux. Nothing really happens in my magic phase. I try to do a lot of magic missiles into his unit of chaff, but I fail. I might have killed 1, but that's about it. It's going to start off turn 2. Undying Dynasties. Undying Dynasties turn 2. He charges here. Now again, I put myself at I think 11 to get in. He fails that roll. He just stumbles forward, which puts me in a great counter charge range. Now basically that's how it looks. He doesn't really move much. He goes ahead and he puts his Shopti, and this is something I was really curious about. He put his Shopti flush, so if I charge him with both spiders, I'll be able to just get right into the flank of the chariots, period. That simple, period. Right? Which I'm really looking into, like, why not? I'm like, that's my best option. I'm looking at this as like, this is going in my direction right now. Magic, he goes and he buffs up these guys, and he wastes all his buffs on this side, which at first I was going to charge him with the Black Orcs, but once he started getting the buffs up, I'm like, it's really not worth it. But you know what is worth it? Let's go into my turn, Orcs and Goblins turn 3, and I'm going to WOG! So I WOG in, and I charge. As you can see, it's like a 17 or an 18 for the spider, the blue spider. If it's a 17, it's only a 10, so on 3 dice I could do it. I could potentially do it. The fucking orange spider needs like a 7. Maybe, yeah, it was like a 7. It was a lot less, and I'm like, I got this. I easily got this. It might have been a 6. It looks like it might be a 6 that I need. And I'm like, okay. I fucking roll the dice, and both of them fail the fucking charge. Both of them fail the fucking charge, and even my opponent was just like, that's unfortunate. Well, my K-Pack did charge into the Shopti. Now, here's my goal. My goal was to, blow past the Shopti, or at least do enough damage to the Shopti where it matters. And if I could keep multiple units injured, if the spiders would have got in and both Shoptis would have been, units would have been pretty injured, I would be able to, there's too much to heal. You can't heal everything. And not only that, but I don't charge the Black Orcs in, because he's super buffed, so I go ahead and I move him up with the expectation that his Shopti are going to be held for 1 turn. Savages move up a bit, or not even that much, because I'm afraid of the chariot still, and that's how it looks. Magic got a 5 on the flux. Go ahead and I do a fireball, take out some of this chaff. Go ahead and I do a flaming swords on these guys, and they start shooting into his Shopti, and they end up killing off the back rank of Shopti. These guys, impact hits doesn't kill shit. I think I did a total of 2 wounds with impact hits. I fucking rolled, this is a picture of my impact hit rolls. I rolled a fucking 3 on impact hits. A 3, which means I only got 5 impact hits. Those 5 impact hits only did 2 wounds, and he just wipes out my fucking chariots. God fucking damn it. It's gonna start off turn 2, Undying Dynasties, and he just goes ahead and gets his counter charge. It might be turn 3. He's going to go ahead and charge here into my Black Orcs with both units. He's going to charge into my Blue Spider, which again is worth more. He gets in here, and he gets in there, of course. Now, he needed like a 10 to get in or some shit, but he still gets in. What the fuck? I'm thinking if I can hold for a turn, I'll get a good counter charge. I can fuck these guys up. We'll see how that goes. And Magic, he ends up just getting up Scrying as well as Know Thy Enemy. Over here, it's just a massacre. He just wipes out. He wipes out 11 Black Orcs. My Black Orcs go back. They are not steadfast because of the Shopti are in the combat. And I end up running. He doesn't chase with the Shopti, but he does chase with the Tomb Reapers. I actually get away by 1 inch, and I do rally on an 8. He goes in and he faces his shop towards my savages, and then I believe at this point my general joined the unit of savages because he has a better chance of just being in ranks, holding steadfast than he does on his own. Excuse me. Over here, he ends up doing 2 wounds. My spider ends up doing a shit ton of wounds. I end up either holding stubborn, or I ended up actually just breaking even on the combat res. It's gonna start off turn 3. Turn 3. I think this is turn 4. I don't really know. The number will say correctly because I obviously don't have this correct. My goblins get the flank. The horde. The horde. It's a trap. They're charging it to the flank of his Shopti, right? My spider, my A-Rock, now needs like a 6 to charge into the flank of his chariots. I need to hold his chariots. That is the bottom line. If I can hold the chariots, my savages are in a good spot to kill his Shopti, and they're not buffed, and his freaking wing reapers are looking the wrong way. What the fuck happens? My fucking spider fails to charge again, and I charge into the damn Shopti, and my damn Iron Orcs rallied, and that fucking A-Rock did not do what she needed to do. Did not do what she needed to do. This is fucking bullshit. That is 2 failed flank charges. That is 3 failed flank charges, because both spiders on a 10, a 7, and a 7. That with 3 dice, Swift Stride. That is easy to roll. I usually roll 10s. What the flying fuck? What the flying fuck? Over here, my damn savages start ripping. Oh, actually, that's my general and the impact hits. It ends up taking out 2 of the Shopti alone. His Shopti go. They end up killing off a couple of my savages, but between my general and the savages, I just pop that unit of Shopti, and they just blow the fuck up. Over here, he goes ahead. He puts a couple more wounds onto my. He puts a couple wounds onto the goblins, my spider. But I ended up just popping his fucking unit and just destroying him outright. Now I overrun with the goblins to get past his line of sight, and I go ahead and my spider, because on magic I ended up getting Bring the Pain on that unit, so I was able to reroll to hit even though he had scrying, and it was just my spider alone just fucked them up pretty bad. So I popped the unit. My spider's still alive. My goblins overrun, so I'm out of charge range of his chariots. And it's gonna start off his turn 3 or 4 or whatever turn it is. Charges in here into the Black Orcs. Charges. Oh wait, they fucking won. What the fuck? I take this back. He won combat. He won combat. I remember. Holy shit. What is this bullshit? This is some bullshit. How did I lose? I got a flank in the front. I think he killed my spider, and my goblins ran, and he chased, and he freaking took him. And then now as a flank, he's charging into the flank of my savages. What is this bullshit? I think I should have popped him. What is this bullshit? Now he's going to charge the front with the chariots. The chariots get in, the flank fails to charge, and he just gets like this. And then he's chaffing my orange spider, which is pretty much doing nothing. Over here, he buffs the shit out of him with magic, scrying, know thy enemy, all that stuff. Over here, he just destroys my Black Orcs. Black Orcs run. Over here, and this is the part where I realize how rusty I am, because I could obviously just challenge with my general or the champ to take the impact hits from one of the chariots, from the general or his champ, right? But he goes ahead, starts rolling impact hits, and before I even had a chance to react, he just automatically starts counting his impact hits, and I'm like, man, I'm rusty, because old me would never let that happen. Goes off, and he gets like, look at this, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 wounds on just impact hits. And then yeah, I end up with my savages killing 1 chariot. His chariots destroy the unit. My general is the last one standing. Oh my god. At this point, I just call the game. I'm like, it's a 20-0 dude, bro. I mean, like, this is just bullshit. There's no way I'm grabbing objective. No way my A-Rock's wiping out the rest of his army. It's not fun anymore. It's bullshit. It is severe bullshit that I failed 3 flank charges on Swift Stride. It is bullshit that, like, I got a flank on his Shopti and I lose. And granted, he did do his smart thing, which was A, they were buffed, and B, they just killed the goblins, which were easier targets to kill, to cause panics. And I just couldn't make a fucking leadership 6 save if I wanted to. I think I failed fear, which didn't help. So fear, scrying, but I did have reroll to hit up. But it in the long run, it didn't matter. I might have done only a couple wounds, which, in all fairness, it's just like, what the fuck? The old Bazookaless Horde, that would never have happened. The old Bazookaless Horde would have had rank bonuses and BSB bonuses and everything, and that combat should have been in my favor. But the new trap, it just doesn't have it, because the Horde formation doesn't have ranks. This whole game just went to shit really fast. And this is the game that I was just sitting there. I was sitting there in, like, not in awe, you know. And Joe says to me, well, this is just a bad match for your list. My army is just a bad match for your army, right? And at first I was just like, yeah, I kind of agree. But at the same time, I really don't. I failed fucking flank charges, and my chariots hit and did nothing. Did 3 impact hits. I mean, this just was not my game. This is like the second 20-0 I had this year, and it was just like, why? You know, third 20-0. The one was in Croatia, one was in against Brandon Phelps, and then one was against this guy, Joe Finlayson. But it was just one of those situations where I was just like, I don't criticize my strategy on this game. This game, I felt like I had a better strategy. I was trying to get into the flanks, and you know, with proper flankers, which are 2 spiders. And they just failed me outright, you know, and impact hits didn't do shit. I should have been able to hold that unit and just had to fight 1 unit instead of 2. Yeah, it was just ugly. I sat there, I was like, not upset, but I was just kind of like down. I was just kind of like, fuck this game, man, fuck. And you know, in all fairness, you know, I sat there, and I had a nice long talk with Len, who was the guy who I went to this tournament with, and you know, like, just about lists, about the power of lists, and you know, I thought I came with a proper, you know, I'm bringing pyromancy against a rat and elf meta, but you know, the pyromancy, in all honesty, I'll show you the points on which everybody got, more or less. We did not stay for the award ceremony, which is the first time I didn't take pictures for an award ceremony, because we had a long drive back, and both me and Len didn't have any, didn't win shit. So, did I not? I don't think there was a paint award. I don't think there was. Anyways, so, and not only that, but I didn't bring, did I bring my display? I might have brought my display. No, I didn't. I don't think I did. Did I? I don't remember. I just don't remember. Anyways, but overall, it was just such a demoralizing defeat. And after this, I changed my list. I dropped Zod. I dropped the spiders. But let's go over the points really quick on what my list did, and we'll go over what I think about each unit individually. In 8th place went to Kieran the Coyote. In all fairness, he wasn't there for damage. He was there for just magic support, and he did good for what he was. But granted, he was probably 270 points, and he really only stepped up in like 1 or 2 games. It was nice to have Shamanism. I do like Shamanism. I do like Awaken the Beast on Chariot Impact hits. It's just a thing of beauty. But overall, he was cut from my list because he really doesn't do much besides give them points. In 7th place, which was a huge disappointment, was the K-Pack. And the K-Pack had several opportunities to be the MVPs. They had the opportunity to kill his fucking Demon Lord, the Vermin Demon Lord, in round 2, and the motherfucker makes 11 ward saves. 11, you know, out of 13. So the K-Pack, you know, they ended up just flubbing. They just ended up having bumper cars on instead of the fucking spikes and sights. So that was just disappointing. They're gonna stay on my list though, even though Kieran got cut. The K-Pack's gonna stick around. General Zod in 6th place. That is bullshit. That is some bullshit. But Zod just never had the greatest opportunities to show what he had besides his leadership checks. and you'll see more or less he got replaced with General Dread. I'm gonna put Dread back in the list, which is my Wyvern Lord, but that's just for multiple reasons. A, to keep a wider leadership bubble, but B, it's just more or less like he has great damage potential, but he never is in the right spot. So having a Wyvern Lord does change the game a little bit. The A-Rock in 5th place. The A-Rock actually was kind of meh. Not the best. She used to be the MVP all the time, like every tournament. But I think either A, it's just that my opponents had... Seriously, I played 2 rat opponents and I think like 4 divination opponents, and they just had the opportunity to kill her every time. Besides the damn doom wheels and the fucking tower guard going with the wheel turns, it was just too much. And for her to get 1,200 points, I'm actually kind of proud of her. 4th place is the Savages. The Savages did, and this is the worst picture ever because they got destroyed by those guys. But the Savages got 1,200 points, which is just not a lot. If you look at my older games, my 4th place unit is usually in like the 2,000 to 3,000 range already. And for 4th place to have only 1,200 points is really pathetic. 3rd place goes to the Iron Orcs, and again, it's because they took 1,300 points, which is not that much. And not only that, but they ended up taking the objective twice, which that's a pretty good unit actually for that specific purpose. But here's where the really big upset is. So I'm keeping the Savages in the list. The A-Rock got cut because I'm going to go with a monsterless army for the time being, while the meta's a very rat and divination friendly. But I'm cutting the Iron Orcs for a unit of Squigs, and you'll see why. But this one was a big upset. My second place is the Bazookaless Horde. The Bazookaless Horde took more points than the Savages and the Iron Orcs, which is just ridiculous for a unit of Goblins with bows and shields. A lot of it was because they were in the right place, right time to flank, charge, and all that stuff. But it's pretty impressive for a unit to take out 1,300, to take 2nd place in points when they were the least invested unit that I had. They were the least invested. Now, the most expensive unit in my whole army did take 1st place, and that is the king of the ring here, Mr. Baxter the Pyromaniac on the Space Rock Coast to Coast. Baxter the Pyromaniac took out 3,635 points, and everybody wondered why I played him far back, and that is why, because he took a shit ton of points, but he cost a shit ton of points. I don't think he died in this game. He didn't. Did he die in the first game? Yeah, he died in the first game. He did not die in the second game. He did not die in the third game. He did not die in the fourth game. So he only died in 2 games out of 5, which is pretty impressive. And he made up way... No, he didn't make way more than his point total, because his point total is roughly close to 1,000 points. So he would be like 5,000 points for 5 games, and he only took 3,600 points. So he didn't really make up his point cost, but he was a good chunk of damage. I love him. It's fun to play with. It's a fun unit to play with. But for now, I'm dropping him back out the list because I just feel like those points could have went elsewhere, and those points could have done much more than what they do. I do believe a Pyromancer is a great thing in this meta. I don't think that him being on a spider made much of a difference. I mean, he did have a little bit more survivability, but I do keep Baxter. I just don't have him on the Chicken Rock anymore. But yeah, that's how my list did. My MVP of this game was really nobody. They all kind of sucked. The Goblins, I guess, because they shot some Shopti. But I didn't kill anything of his. I didn't kill a goddamn thing off his list. I think I killed 1 unit of Shopti. Okay, so Savages. Savages took the Shopti. Anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really did not enjoy making this one. I'm not gonna lie. This one was one of the games that I was like, ugh, I gotta make this game because I got destroyed so bad. It was really demoralizing. And fortunately for you, I do have 5 more games, 6 more games technically, but 5 more games at ChiHammer, which I got in. At ChiHammer, I had a big turnaround compared to this
this tournament here. A lot of people were, and I expect the criticism like, oh, it's probably because James isn't that good a player against good players, stuff like that. I really don't care what you guys think. To be honest, I haven't. I deserve this loss. I deserve this. I got like I think last place in Masters period. But not only did I get last place, I just feel like I kind of deserved it because I haven't played in 6 months. I haven't practiced. I haven't had, I didn't have list tweaking. I didn't have any of that. And without all that, I came and I lost, and that's basically what I deserve for doing, what I did. So I'm not entirely too upset about that. I expected that. I told that to Mark, because Mark was like, "Are you all right?" Because it looked like I was just like burnt, and I was. I was tired. I was burnt. But coming back into it, coming back from the drive, of course, I'm talking lists and what potential can I do with lists, and my list at Corner Hammer kind of reflects that. With my talks with Phil Carl, I think my biggest criticism here was the fact that I left several units with like one wound left or whatever, and I just lacked the firepower from range to deal with it. So that's one thing that I decided to switch around. And B is I felt like I needed chaff, more chaff than the one that I had, because the one that I had ended up either being a target or being way out of the range or on the wrong side of the map. So having at least one more unit of chaff could change the game for me, and that is one of the things that me and Phil Carl talked about, and that is one of the things that I will change. Besides that, guys, like I said, I hope you guys enjoy the video, and if you do like my videos and would like to show further support, you could always go onto my Patreon. Any donation is majorly appreciated. Helps me get to the tournaments that are out of the states. Anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoy this, and I'll see you next time. Take care, and peace.